Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Johnny Altamonte,
I'm Marco Suarez.
and you're listening to the very first episode of our podcast. Welcome to the Scrapyard.
The scrapyard where the conversation is more important than where you end up. It's the process of how we get to where we think instead of not so much emphasis on the result. And we're going to have fun while we do it.
Fantastic. So let's get right into it and introduce ourselves. So, Marco, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm Marco Suarez. I grew up in Alabang, Manila, Philippines. Went to a very, very Catholic school growing up. So I have a lot of Catholic upbringing in me.
Classic.
I went to college here for 2 years and didn't think that it suited me very well. I ended up going to Australia for 4 or 5 years, which was the best decision I ever made. Met the most wonderful, amazing people. And now I'm back here opening a business with you.
Oh, that's quite fantastic. We have a similar backstory. We grew up down the street from each other,
Yeah.
and here in Alabang too. And we met in college. In your 2 years in Ateneo, it's a pretty great time. I ended up staying here, becoming a scientist. Left that life for a bit to start a business, and here we are.
Mm, very good.
So why are we starting the scrapyard? What's the scrap? What do you envision the scrapyard to be?
Well, we're in a very big transition period in our lives, and everything's changing and moving so fast, and there's a lot of growth to be had, and this is so much so a record keeping of that growth and like a way to share it and hopefully get some back and forth with our audience and further grow from there.
Fantastic. Yeah. So it's more of a channel for growth than anything else, really. So like half personal diary, half kind of sharing that diary with the world, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's exactly what I want to do here too. We've always been doing this sort of thing where we have like fantastic conversations, and we always had sort of that running in the background that I kind of wish people heard these conversations because sometimes it's just really good.
And now we've invested enough equipment to actually have to do it now. There's no going back.
That's true. It's quite a big investment, especially since we're so broke in that startup life.
That's it, man. I love it. I love every second of this day.
Uh huh. Uh huh. So without further ado, I guess we move on. Let's go to our first topic for our very first episode.
Yeah, to capture everyone's interest, you want to talk about something that's a little controversial for here, and it's online dating, specifically using Tinder and Bumble in Manila. What are your initial thoughts, Johnny Altamonte?
Initial thoughts. You're right. I guess it is a bit controversial, especially here in the Philippines. We're so
A
conservative.
bit controversial. You know how many people are on Tinder with like all black in their photo, and it says link in bio to hear my story.
Oh my God, really?
Oh yeah.
I have never-
If I open it up right now, do you see a ratio 1 to 10?
That's amazing. Yeah. So we're very, very conservative country.
Oh, a little bit of a background. I'm a 3-year, 4-year strong Tinder warrior.
Oh, that's yeah. And I'm sure you have a lot of Tinder warrior stories to tell.
They're amazing.
I know. I can't wait to hear them. Me personally, I used Tinder for a bit. Was super turned off by it. Just cause I mean, in general, when you're and I guess no offense to everyone watching, but
Mhm.
in general, 99.9% of the population isn't very attractive.
Hey, I'm out there, man. Put
You
in
are-
put in my content. You know what my description says?
What do you got?
Helped invent dolphins.
That's amazing.
Right?
Really?
Yeah, dude.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Because the first thing that they'll say is like, "What do you mean helped invent dolphins?" And by then it's too late. Like, they've already messaged. We got him.
That's
Hook, line, and
amazing.
sinker.
That's amazing.
Oh yeah. It's because I wanted to ask you, do you have any like what's it called? Doubts or like thoughts before coming into Tinder that made you not want to do it?
Oh no, not at all. I mean, I enjoyed my time on Tinder because I basically used it for a huge self-esteem boost.
Nice.
Whenever you're feeling a little down, you have a little bad day.
Mm.
You got a big ass zit on your forehead. You want to feel pretty.
No, that happens. Man.
You just go on Tinder and you swipe right 100 times, and it's nice seeing you get matched
Pretty damn often
like
here.
90 out of the 100 times.
90 out of 100.
Again, like most of them aren't like. I never even like talked to most of them. It was just seeing that like okay, cool, a little validation.
But that does help.
I'm
Sometimes
a little pretty,
you need that self-esteem boost once in a while.
Yeah, I know. But then you're stuck with the problem of having 90 matches and having 90 people message you.
Yeah. Is that right?
And then so you delete Tinder for a bit, and you reinstall it a couple of weeks later when you're feeling down again, and you get a little self-esteem boost.
Hmm.
So that's what I used it for. It was quite useful. Had a bit of a self-esteem hit.
Yeah. So how long were you on Tinder for?
I would estimate 2 months.
All right, 2 months. In those 2 months, what was your absolute best story from it
Absolute best
that you
story.
feel like sharing? I mean,
Oh, I had a conversation with a dude.
amazing.
You know, sometimes for some reason, like when you're swiping, a guy crops up.
100%. And you swiped right?
Yeah, of course I swipe right. I asked him his story, like, what? Why are you on here, man? Why am I seeing you? And he had no idea why. He's like, I don't know. You know, I came here to look for girls, but I keep getting matched with guys.
So,
Uh, and I'm pretty sure he's like messed up his settings.
yeah.
And he
Oh,
was just so confused.
all
He's
right.
like,
That's a
where are
comment.
all the women?
That,
I,
that,
I bet he just thought that Tinder was like 99. You know, okay, do you know that thing, the, what do you call that? Omegle?
Mhm.
Where you like
You
match.
just keep swiping
Yeah, but it's like
randomly.
99% dudes.
Yeah.
I bet that's what he thought Tinder was like.
And like
It's just,
sometimes they have their dick out.
yeah, it's like, you don't get to choose whether it's boy or girl. It's like
That's
everyone.
what he thought it was.
And it's like, I guess it's just mostly dudes on here, man.
All right, me being the advanced Tinder that I am, this is a troubleshooting part of our show, and Tinder links to your Facebook, and if your Facebook gender is woman, it will automatically see you as a woman, and it will make you look for men as well. So
Ah.
shout out to that guy. If he's one of those jokers that put his name as a woman just so that it says greet her a happy birthday on her
Yeah,
birthday,
yeah.
that,
Oh, that's probably
that's
it.
how you pay the price,
Yeah,
man.
he got a couple of laughs from that.
Oh, yeah, dude. I'm sure, man. He's a jokester by nature.
Yeah, that's my best experience with Tinder. He was a
Yeah?
good dude.
What'd you guys talk about?
Literally that, and I was like, I don't know, man. I've seen one guy, and it's you. And then and he went and checked the settings, and
All right. If that's your best one, what's your worst one?
shucks, I don't know. Probably getting spammed by. I like to. Okay, I guess this is a bit mean, but I what I call Tinder, and the many spam messages I got, the Urukai horde,
Oh, nice.
and
Classy.
yeah, they were very classy, yeah, and they acted as such. They were disgusting to me.
What did they do?
They're so rude,
Like rude how?
just like rude.
Like what did they say?
I don't know, like I imagine this is what a regular person would get. Like if you're in the Philippines and you're a girl and you swipe right, and if you
You're probably
imagine,
gonna get a match.
yeah, you're gonna get a match like 99% of the time. But can you imagine the things like
Like,
horny teenage boys are gonna try to say to pick you up?
hey baby, show me some Bob's vagine.
Yeah, stuff like that.
But for you, so
Yeah.
what did they say specifically to you? Like
Yeah, do you have any shirtless pics where
that's
you're
it, man.
show me them?
You're kidding.
No, yeah.
You got sexually harassed on Tinder.
Well, I wasn't sexually harassed. I guess I was flirting, but it was just terrible
But
flirting.
it was just bad flirt game.
It was just bad, like cringy flirting.
like,
Like
not enough teasing, too much upfront stuff.
no teasing whatsoever. Or if there was teasing, it was so blunt to the
Uh,
point where it was just not attractive. So you got that initial self-esteem boost, and then you get hit with like reality where, I guess people aren't just good at flirting or dating or any of that. And just like, oh, yeah, Tinder's.
Well, dating is like anything, it takes practice, and I feel like
yeah,
a lot of
and
people get their training wheels a little too late here.
yeah, and I guess it's also a different medium because it's chat. It's pure
Exactly.
virtual. That's completely different. Like I'm sure some people would be more what's the word? Smooth, I guess, in person, or charming in person, and there's some people who just aren't charming through chat.
I can make the argument that that's not true because when you're on chat, you have time to think about it, what you're gonna say,
Unless you overthink.
which always happens. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better to just follow an easy format, like respond to question, comment on question, ask new one, like just the 3-pronged approach.
The three prong. Okay, tell me more. So you sound like you have a bunch of approaches, or at least very systematic approach to it.
Me?
How do you approach it? For you, is there a difference between um, your game on via chat or online or a digital medium versus your game in person?
Objectively, maybe not, because I've had my friends from Australia, they'd look over at my Tinder and be like, "You talk exactly the same as online as you do in person."
Fantastic. Okay, so how do you talk online? What is your approach?
Well,
I'm gonna start there, and then we're gonna move on to your how you found Tinder in general.
Amazing. Okay, well, my approach was the question.
Yeah. So what's your approach? What's your game like?
Okay.
If you had to categorize yourself or describe your game.
All right, you want to talk about something relative to the person you're talking to. So you want to look through their photos, see if you have anything in common there. And if not, you look at the bio that they write about themselves on.
Uh huh.
And if there's anything you can make a joke of, make a quip, or like, here's a good one. Match with a Filipina British girl once, and I said, Filipina British. So like rice flavored tea bags. And that was it. That was good enough. That was good enough to be like, what do you mean?
Wait, what? Like, excuse me.
Exactly, because all you're looking for is a response.
That's
You know what I
true.
mean?
It's a
'Cause-
foot in the door.
Exactly, and then you be yourself from there.
Okay. What is your worst one? Like, just stupidest one, or what is the stupidest one that worked?
That's
For
ever
you.
worked. Remember when you used my phone?
Yeah, yeah. Well, that was me.
Yeah.
That was me. So background, it was quite recently, a number of weeks ago, I went through Marco's Tinder and I tried to see how bad I could make an opener line and still have it work. And everything I said had something to do about making babies.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. Everything had a pun about like putting a baby in them
Yeah.
or giving birth to one immediately.
Some of them were pretty clever, and a surprising amount of them worked.
Yeah, it was a good vibe. It
Yeah.
was a good day for me.
Yeah, but I like how there's that one person though that followed up immediately, and she was kind of interested. You know, she replied, which is the foot in the door.
Yeah.
So if you were interested, you could have immediately followed up with charm and all that. But I just kept pushing the baby thing
Just kept going.
every single time.
Line after line of let's just make a baby.
Yeah, no, but literally just I want the baby because I want to be a father. I want to be a good father. And it took a while before she went away. It took
Yeah,
like
that
maybe
was a good
7
time.
or 8 of those. Yeah, so that worked. But
The dumbest thing I've ever done that's worked.
uh-huh.
You know when you just say sup and it just completely goes your way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
Because
okay.
like when
Yeah.
you're not even in the brain mood to think anymore.
Yeah.
That's
It's more a quantity thing. Like if it works, it works. If it doesn't.
I mean that Tinder gamifies dating. So like
That's true.
let's not
actually.
like beat around the bush. That's what it's for. If you miss out on one, don't beat up on yourself. How could what are you gonna act like that's the love of your life? Like, you had a nice like she had a nice photo of like her face doing this. Like, like a
That's
little
true.
ducky face.
Uh-huh.
And then she could have been the one.
Hey, some of them have really good ducky faces. You never
They
know,
do.
man.
They do.
You hit that right duck face.
Yeah, I'm just saying because it's gamified, I have a really hard time imagining you
That's
getting
true.
Emotionally invested
From
so
a
deep
picture.
in. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you never know. I don't know.
Can you imagine there are people that do fall in love with pictures? You ever see those creepy messages from like middle-aged men? I saw your picture. I see what you're doing. You're perfect for me. How do people like you exist? I'm so in love."
Well, that's if you buy into them really falling. You know what?
That's true.
Guys
That's
would-
just their game.
a
I
lot of
guess.
people would say anything to
That's
get some.
true.
You know what
That's
I mean?
true. Oh God. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You're like I like you. I love you.
I
I'll do
would-
anything with you.
I would kill myself.
You want to see how much I love you? Oh, baby.
I've seen Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, that's a real
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Okay. So, what is your best stories on Tinder? Oh wait. First of all, what's Tinder like for you here? Because I haven't really had much experience. I never really delved into Tinder, but
In
you
the
are a
Philippines.
warrior. You're a
Thank you,
self-proclaimed
man.
warrior.
Thank you, man. The Philippines is awesome.
Okay.
It's well, like as you said, the ratio of attractive people not fantastic, but you once in a while you'll get a great catch in there. I'm not saying I get to don't bank on it. It's not going to be the best way you ever meet people.
Yeah,
But again, I don't know. Like I keep double backing on my points. Tinder's kind of what you make it.
that's
You
true.
know what I mean? Like I've had a lot of great experiences and a lot of bad ones, but they all were all of value because they all taught me stuff.
So you're saying in the middle of the Urukai horde,
Amazing.
you will find the occasional Saruman.
That's it. That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
I mean,
So
like,
just so we're clear, all right?
like I just feel bad. There's a lot of stigma around it. I mean, like it's been around for 4 or 5 years, and people still are kind of embarrassed to say that they met their significant other on,
on
Tinder, even
yeah,
though
that's
like
true.
it's a very wholesome way to meet someone. Like
Absolutely.
like it's fine. Like and what's more important is think of the value it brings to your life. Let's
Uh-huh.
say like you have a very set circle of friends, and your opinions are almost all identical because you all grew up from the same background,
That's
same
true.
upbringing. You swipe just using Tinder for the fact that you can have an interesting conversation, interesting meetup with someone. That in itself has a lot of value.
That's true. You kind of step outside your circle a little bit, meet a
Yeah.
couple of new people.
And we all know how deeply you can get into your circles here.
Oh man, yeah, especially here in the Philippines, I guess people are very, very deeply. They stay within
The comfort zone.
very much so.
Oh.
Again, I guess it ties back to how we're a bit conservative or very conservative.
Yeah. Second most Catholic country on earth.
Right after Vatican
City. Yeah. The fun fact.
Yeah. Another fun fact: did you know that statistically there are 2.2 popes per kilometer
What?
in Vatican City
What do you mean 2.2 popes per like,
per square kilometer? Yeah.
is there cray cray? There's some cray crays on the street.
No. Think
Wait.
about it.
Oh, because in the cemetery they're all buried.
No.
So
2.2 popes per square kilometer in
This is a joke?
Vatican City.
This is a
No,
joke
it's
to me.
not. This is statistically correct. It also goes to show a little bit how statistics can be maneuvered to make things seem like they're
that
not.
is interesting. Wait. So I am lost. How is that
Vatican City
possible?
is less than a square kilometer large. So statistically, there are 2.2 popes per square kilometer in the Vatican City. Isn't that ridiculous?
Why 2.2? The two living ones?
No, because there's one pope within a less kilometer, right?
Yeah.
So one pope per, say, 400 meters
Mm.
equals technically 2.2 popes per square kilometer.
So there's two popes walking around right now.
Yes.
Who are they?
No, you idiot. Wait. So if there's one pope,
Okay.
there's only one pope,
Okay.
and the Vatican City occupies an area less than a square kilometer,
Yeah.
right? So if you have a fraction, 2/4 is the same as 1/2.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
right? So technically there are, yeah. So
Okay.
it's just a way to kind of manipulate statistics to,
All right.
to kind of. Anyway, besides the point, Tinder
Yeah. Back on
and
that.
dating in the Philippines and all
Mm.
that. So you've had experience dating in the Philippines
Mhm.
before Tinder.
Mhm.
How did Tinder change your view at all on dating or on the Philippines or anything? What did Tinder change about you?
Well, it really widened the net. I mean, like
Yeah,
for sure, you only gonna spend so much time around certain circles of people because same school, same activities, same etc.
right.
While Tinder, you're gonna just be repeatedly finding people who are cute. And again, let's also keep in mind that in the Philippines, there's not a lot of places to go out. I mean, there's Publisher and there's like BGC, and that's kind of it.
That's also a good point, I guess.
That's
yeah.
kind of it's a limited pool. I mean, like you go out for a week straight, you've hit up every club that's popping,
Yeah.
pretty much.
And you're limited to Metro Manila too, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because well, that's my limitation.
That's true.
So what Tinder allowed for everyone is that they could meet more people that they
Uh-huh.
normally wouldn't have met and do things that they normally wouldn't have done.
Okay. My question is though, so how many would you estimate how many dates, like just first dates, have you gone out on?
Me personally,
From Tinder specifically.
in the five, maybe 50, maybe 100.
Okay. So my question then would be, you said Tinder kind of widens that funnel, right? Kind of widens the net.
Yeah.
Objectively speaking, how wide do you think it's gotten for you? Because I mean, before we talked about, say, staying within a certain circle of friends, right? You kind of know this person who knows this person. Everyone's a friend of a friend. Tinder kind of lets you expand on that, but how much so? Are you have like every date you've been on has it been with, for example, I would assume, or here's my initial guess, and tell me if I'm right or wrong. Say upper middle class, college degree from a top university in the Philippines,
Yeah,
speaks English very well,
that's fair. Yeah.
right?
Mm.
Would you say that's fair to say amongst all your first dates, or has it really actually? Because again, the world's a
Huge
big
place.
place.
No, you're absolutely right. Culturally speaking, it's become super massive. There are people who are,
Yeah.
especially when they're tourists who are come visiting,
Uh-huh.
and they always say like, "I need someone to show me around."
Yeah.
Me, please. Let me
Awesome.
please be that person.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's also that friendship count that's on Tinder. If you link it on Facebook, it shows how many people you're friends with mutually.
Oh yeah.
If it's
yeah,
more
okay.
than 3 or 4 people, I avoid it.
Okay, because you want to again really just stray away from any.
The
of
anchor that I
circles.
want from Tinder is the new experience. That way, whether it's something doesn't really work out
Okay.
or something doesn't go like as planned, at least I learned something new while talking to someone.
Yeah, someone completely new, and you don't have that sense of it's always kind of lingering because
Yeah.
that happens in the Philippines. If you have a bad experience with someone and it's someone again within your close circle of friends, it kind of just lingers,
Yeah.
and that's I guess it's not good. So
But I'm also a really big people person. I love saying hi to everyone that's next to me.
yeah, you do that.
Like whoever is next to me, you're gonna have to listen up because I want to talk to you about your life.
What is the most interesting random story you've encountered from not just Tinder, but like as you said, random person you've been talking to or meeting or
Oh,
whatever?
this is my favorite. One of my favorite stories. I was on the plane back to back to the Philippines from Australia,
Okay.
and there was this 50, 60-year-old gentleman to my right, and we struck up a conversation. And I asked, "Hey, so what brings you? Where are you going to the Philippines?" And he goes, "I found love." And I
Oh.
was like, "All right, okay, like tell me about her." And it was the usual story of the girl that's 1/4 his age.
Oh, of course.
And he made a joke that he didn't know how her family would react to him in first glance, but he bought them a washing machine, and it was
Oh
all
my
sweet from there.
god. Yeah.
Oh, but that's the culture. What are you gonna do? Like whatever. If it was that easy to get your mother-in-law to like you, you
Buy
would do
her a
it.
washing machine.
You'd pull the trigger.
Oh yeah, hands down.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So I love that because you grow up here and you think there's a huge stigma around like older foreign gentlemen and young Filipino women. It's just
Absolutely.
it's a very common thing here, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those stereotypes.
Yeah. So you grow up here and you learn to kind of assume the worst when you see that,
That's
which is wrong.
It's
Because
it's absolutely wrong.
we don't like maybe there's a certain circumstance that comes up of that nature, but it's really unfair to assume that every time that comes up, that's exactly the way it is. Right?
Absolutely. I'm with you. I agree.
But so I'm with this guy on a flight for 8 hours. Me and him are taking turns napping. By the
Okay.
way, while talking, it's like a beautiful tandem of one person naps, we respect his space, we get to like, oh, how'd you nap, and then we go back to talking.
Awesome.
And he described love in a way that I've never heard before.
Okay, go.
Yeah, he said that because his background was he had a wife and kids, an ex-wife, and they were already in their 20s.
The kids.
The kids, yeah.
Okay.
He was doing odd jobs. He was a mailman at one point. He was a
Okay.
delivery person at another. Like, by the way, amazing person wherever he is. And he said like he's 50. He's lived a big life, and this is the first time he's ever really felt like he was in love. Like he feels like he's 18, 20 all over again.
Oh, that's actually really
Right?
nice.
Like literally like thinking about a girl
Yeah.
all day, to the point that you just have to see her. I think he dated her for like 3 months, and then like he just decided then that I'm in love. I need to marry her.
Oh, that's nice. So he moved here to the Philippines.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I hope one day you could chance upon him again. And
Oh
see how
yeah.
he's doing.
Like, I think he's in Boracay now, but like yeah, you know what? You get a real in-depth listen to someone's story like that. It
Yeah.
really turns your understanding of stuff all the way around.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think most people, when they see that story, and not from his perspective, if they just see the facts that there's this older man leaves his family after meeting this really young Filipino woman for 3 months and then moves to marry her, people would judge off the bat. And
Yeah, they'd quick trigger judge.
absolutely. But I guess you're right. I mean, who are we to judge whether to judge someone's happiness? I guess
Yeah.
I mean, that's one thing I never want to do. If someone's happy, then let them have their happiness because that's really all it is at the end of the day.
Yeah, and like I work in acting, so a lot of people are half something else, and it really like half Filipino, half British.
Oh,
or
yeah,
something
yeah,
like
okay,
that. There's a
okay.
lot of mixed, beautiful people here, and you should see how they describe how it breaks their heart when they walk around with their dad, and they just kind of assume
Oh,
that she's with him in that way,
right. And
or like
everybody,
it's not fair,
that's absolutely true.
right? You know
Yeah,
what I mean? There's like a two-pronged like that's really not nice,
that's really not nice. Wow, that kind of sucks. I never thought about that.
right? You know what I mean?
That's tough. Yeah.
So yeah,
God.
in conclusion, when you go to Tinder, make sure you we do what you have to meet new people, and Tinder's one great way to do that.
That's pretty good. So Tinder, there's also Bumble. Have you noticed that there's a difference, or are they basically the same app, just sort of a different first step?
Well, like I'd say that pretty much sums it up. I mean, like again, I am a big believer in these dating apps are what you make of it. You want
Right.
to find love there, you can.
That's
You're gonna
true.
find a hookup there, you can. You want to find friendship there, it also happens.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's better for the girls because they have that barrier where the girl has to message first in order for the conversation to
Right.
start.
Okay,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was the thing. I couldn't remember what
Yeah, it's
Bumble
like
made.
it's one, it's female empowering, which is nice, and two,
That's fantastic.
as a
Yeah.
girl online dating, that might be kind of huge for you
That's
because
huge. Yeah.
you're not
Absolutely.
gonna be bombarded with every guy that's just trying to, hey baby, how you
Hey,
doing? Like,
how you
why you look so
doing?
beautiful today, huh?
I love you,
I'm in
girl.
love.
I mean,
You know,
you're right.
I was swiping around. I didn't know I'd fall in love today.
you know, for girls, they're probably really living that urukai life.
Yeah,
That's what
they must be like
oh
at an
man,
incredible pace, just going hard. I mean, like, where the Philippines is the social media capital of the world,
that's
and like,
true.
so one of the things that follows has to be dating. Like,
That's true.
don't you get like random ads from on Facebook like on a weirdly rapid pace?
Yeah, every now and then. Yeah, that's actually true.
Just randoms.
Like completely random,
Like
zero
no
mutual
mutual friends,
friends,
zero
not even in
mutual
the same
interests.
province.
Yeah, that just
Like just how did this happen kind of thing.
yeah, that's the way
Yeah.
it works.
Yeah, that happens. God. What do you think though of just in general the dating culture in the Philippines? Because um one of the things I I'd like to say there's a lot of toxicity in the dating culture in the Philippines. Or okay,
Toxicity.
not maybe the dating culture, but the pickup culture, I would guess in the
Here,
Philippines
okay, what makes
with
you
among
think?
guys.
Yeah,
Um I guess just sort of seeing a lot of it happen when I was younger and then not realizing how bad it was or
yeah. Tell me about it. What do you mean?
well one thing I think was a bit of a scandal here was called I think it's still around actually, that might be a thing, but people have been trying to report it, me included. It's called like PUA Academy,
Okay.
which is PUA, stands for like Pickup Artist Academy.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, it's sort of like this gross place where it's very women objectifying, where they secretly take videos of people they hook up with and post it as like success stories.
Screw off.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
way.
So it
I
was
don't believe you.
yeah, it was a big deal here for a bit.
No way.
There's a lot of drama over it and everything.
Like these girls are unaware that they're
Yeah,
being filmed.
yeah.
Dude.
And it's basically like I remember reading like a couple of their main tactics have been like well, one, find a girl who has like some sort of issue or another and exploit like those issues, and that's sort of an easy way to hook up with someone. And it's really gross and it's just really skeevy.
It
And
makes
it's
me
just
upset.
yeah. Yeah, it really is. It's just not nice.
Mm.
Right? It's just ugh.
Well, I don't like the what's it called? Judge cultures based on what's it called?
On
Well,
segments of the culture.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not only that, like I like to see things systematically. It's
Yeah.
person A, they're in environment A, ergo they act accordingly.
Right.
So
Right.
I'd like to attribute this one to a complete like lack of sexual education.
Oh, in
I
the
mean,
Philippines, absolutely.
yeah, we don't have that.
We have none
We,
of
we
it.
straight up don't have any of that at all.
Yeah,
So people are learning from the worst place that you can for
that's
first, you know what I
true.
mean? Like,
Which is
it-
sort of like the well, one I would guess media would part of the whole machismo,
yeah,
like
yeah. Because one of the things that they don't realize is sexual education. They educate you on consent,
yeah,
which is
absolutely.
huge. I mean, it's tough to like really, I don't know, like how do you know for sure the lines of consent if you're not educated, if everyone's not educated on it?
That's true. Yeah,
Like
that's a good
just
point.
figuring it out by watching porn.
That's true. Porn is and that's actually a good point. Porn is normally how people are educated here through sex, because we also
That's
have one of the
right.
highest. We're one of the highest porn watchers in the world too.
No way.
Yeah, the Pornhub rankings, Philippines is like number 3 or something.
I'm amazed. I'm
Yeah,
not surprised, but
not
I'm
surprised
amazed.
at all. Yeah,
Social media, right?
exactly. So if you learn how to date or pick up a woman or have sex through porn, porn is
Horrific.
not at all like real life.
Yeah. Like you think you're gonna just start delivering pizzas and things are just gonna magically go your way.
Right, exactly. But you ordered a pizza for me. How do you not want to sleep with me right now?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I must have read this receipt wrong. It says extra sausage. Obviously, there has been a misunderstanding.
Yeah. That's exactly true. Porn is terrible. It's like trying to learn life from movies.
Yeah, so
It's
I kind of,
completely unrealistic.
because of the lack of sex education here, I'm kind of see this giant pool of young adolescent, no
Just
matter what age you are,
testosterone filled, horny
everyone's
ass.
trying to figure out how to do it, but also they aren't really considerate because they don't really know how to get it done like respectfully and like, consensually.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like
That's
maybe
a
there are
good way
some people that are really out there who are just monsters, and
I'm sure
that's
there
the way
are.
they operate.
Yeah.
But we can't. That's just the way they are. Like, what are you gonna do? Like,
That's true.
like if you educate first, all the people that make those mistakes from misunderstanding, they get mitigated.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
I'm with you. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. How were you educated? How did you learn about sex, or did you ever go through sex education? Was it something you had to learn later in life?
I
or had to
figured it out
relearn?
by talking to the boys at school, man. That's the only way you figure it out.
Of course, of course. Oh, you were in an all boys school, so
Yeah, like what's it called? A lot of
who was the boy?
massive guesswork, massive
like,
amounts
okay,
of guesswork.
Who was was there a lead person in charge, or was it like little whisperings from little everyone? You're all kind of coming to like a group conclusion about what sex was.
Yeah, I'll be honest, it was me. I had
You were the boy.
I had questions that needed to be answered.
No, I'm with you.
Like it'd be like during lunch break, I'd circle the boys and be like, so. What is this thing? We're 8 young men. We can figure this out. All right. It's something to do with bumping uglies, and then kids come out like, boys, what you think? What you got? There's always that one kid that reluctantly says, I've seen pornography, so I think I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you just pee in her. Yeah, 100%.
That's how it works.
That's how you figure it out, boys. Like it's pretty simple.
We've done good work here, man. Let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
That's great.
There was one lunch class where I was convinced the right kind of boner to have was the kind that was like directly on, like there's like a 90-degree angle.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
talking like straight, like touching your belly button.
Yeah.
Because that just, I don't know, that just happened to be all the porn stars I watched.
Amazing.
They happened to be equipped that way.
All right. Well, yeah. That's great that you had the boys to work this out with.
There was a lot of not understanding
yeah.
stuff, bro.
Well, at least you had someone to bounce ideas off of. I was homeschooled.
What, your mom?
No. Oh my God, not my parents. Jeez, they would never. I'll tell you how my mom gave me the talk. But how I found out was I watched a lot of Discovery Channel.
Nice.
That's my favorite thing. 'Cause one of the things that helped me become a scientist, I guess, was watching Discovery Channel, watching
Very
Steve
cool.
Irwin and all that. A lot of National Geographic, and there are a lot of documentaries, and a lot of it is about mating. Of course, it's a very important part of biology and ecology and all of that.
Agreed.
So one of them got into the mating habits of deer. And it might have been Sir David Attenborough.
Oh, amazing
very,
voice.
very very suave voice,
wanted
talking
to-
about like
I wanted to narrate
the
my
male
funeral.
deer inserts his penis into the female vagina, and I was like, what? And I saw it happen, and then it fast forwarded to babies, and I kind of made those little thunk, 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 made a little connection,
Okay.
and it's like, you know what? We're all animals. This is probably what humans do.
Yeah, nice.
Humans have penises and vaginas. I've got one. I
That's
got one
it.
of those.
At least one.
Yeah, and then so I opened up my dictionary, searched penis, searched vagina, just to make sure I got it
Double
right,
check.
and then searched sexual intercourse,
Amazing.
and it said insert the penis into the vagina. I'm like,
Did you ever go through that stage where you just Google boobs through images and be like, "This is it. This is the high point of
Yeah.
naked chicks." Like, I did it, man.
yeah, no, I searched naked woman. I got a lot of anatomy,
Nice.
but there was like some anatomy that showed like boob, and it was the best.
It was the best, baby.
Yeah.
It's the tribal sort of like.
Yeah,
This is how
that's
people grew up. and
straight
stuff.
up. I guess the first porn I ever consumed was I had this ancient history book. I also really love ancient history, and it was on like Mesopotamia, and people were taught this around then. That's just how it was.
Mhm.
Except they drew it. So I got some naked ladies.
That's it, man.
And I was like,
That's
that's
it.
awesome. Actually,
Score.
my first idea of sex before I saw what sex was through National Geographic, for some reason, the idea I had in my head was that you had to connect nipples. That was what I was like, that just makes sense, I guess.
Well, there's 2 for 2.
Right, they're matching. It's like Lego. It's just what you do.
That's
which
adorable.
technically does not make sense because that's not at all how Lego works. You don't put the 2 dots onto another 2 dots. That's opposite of how
again,
Lego works.
When you don't have sex education, the mind wanders to funny places.
That's true.
I used to think that as long as they made contact, a baby would come out. So I would just think, man, when you're just don't walk around naked ever. Because like, if you bump the wrong person, you're like, I can't believe it. Now we have to get married.
Oh, cousin Jimmy, that's how he.
Because that's all you're taught growing up. Like, just if you get someone pregnant, you have to marry them. Period.
No, I thought I got it the other way around. I thought you could only get babies when you got married.
You know, there's a lot of wild, speculation when no one bothers teaching you.
Yeah, no one knows what's going on, man.
Exactly.
Just a bunch of dumb kids.
But there's always that one kid in school, like you're all like 14, 15. He's like, guys, I had sex. And you're like, first of all, impossible.
you dirty liar.
Everyone's in denial first. No way. No one does that.
Yeah.
First of all, you're not a dad or a mom, so there's no way you do it.
Yeah, and you're not married. Did you mean French kiss? Huh? Did you French kiss someone?
Did you French kiss someone? Because
that's still so cool.
I thought that was sex for a while too. Don't worry about that. We're in this together.
Oh man, just a bunch of dumb kids figuring shit out.
Yeah.
And completely figuring stuff out too. And I guess it's so much easier now. God, remember, I actually had to look up in a dictionary. When I was learning about sex, I had a dictionary. There was still no internet.
That's right.
There was no internet.
Yeah.
There was, but you were getting like 10 kb per second.
And if anyone called, as your boob's image stops right at the nipple, and you just want to kill yourself.
No, you couldn't even. Oh, I was at the point where you couldn't even load an image.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It was like just email browsers and like there's an online encyclopedia I found, and that was it. That's all I got.
How old were you?
God, I was young.
Yeah, you're a kid. It's
Like
always
7.
It always happens sort of
6
like
or
that.
7, I think.
Like my first porno experience was hentai.
Of course, Head Squad.
The hand squad, dude. What are you gonna do, man? It's a good vibe.
It is
Yeah,
a good vibe.
my older sister and my younger brother were like downloading Digimon images, and I wasn't paying attention. And incredible, right? So they started freaking out at one point. I could hear them, so I run up to meet them, like, what happened? And they're all like, you don't want to know. You don't even want to know what happened. Of course. I'm like a kid, so I'm like, I have to know. They dictated me when I was a kid. I had to know.
Of course.
So of course I approached my younger brother because like I know I could talk to him and be like, bro, what really happened? What, you could trust me. You can trust Kuya. Don't worry about this. And he just goes. It was
Oh my God.
He had gone through so much. It's like trauma for him, but I know deep down he loved it. I don't even laugh.
Of course it did.
He just goes, it's just something called hentai, right? Just figure out the rest, okay? Just figure it out. And obviously, I'm like, okay, put 2 in together. I do Google image search thing, click the first thing I see. I'm amazed, but overwhelmed.
Of course.
Overwhelmed.
Of course.
Because, first of all, I love it. And second of all, I can't understand how much I love it. So my knee-jerk reaction, I just ran.
Oh my God.
Just left it on the browser.
Of course.
Just fuck it.
That's what you had to do, man.
Yeah, dude, it was so funny because I left it. We had a whole talk at the dinner table. My mom was all like, "So, who's watching all this hentai stuff?" Huh? And completely dead silent. My sister and brother came. We're sorry, all right. We just downloaded some images. We just love Digimon, Mom. It's not even our fault. I'm sorry. They have a whole reconcile, a whole like what's it called? Problem resolution, like conflict done thing.
Right.
And it's all like teary-eyed and all that. And they're all like, all right, at least you guys understand that it's wrong. You should never do it again. But I didn't see any Digimon. I just saw some hentai website. And then they were like, what? And I was like,
Oh man.
this is it, man. I don't know.
Oh,
Like,
man.
I'm in too deep. Like I've stayed too silent. Just keep it done. But I'm pretty sure they knew it was me at one point. I'm a terrible liar.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Speaking of, I think I told you about this, but the other weekend I just saw some guy walking around and he had the most amazing hoodie. It just like this plain black hoodie and then big bold letters. It just said hentai across his chest. Just hentai. And then whatever hentai is in Japanese characters below that.
He's a genius and a connoisseur.
He's the best person out there, and I really hope he listens to this podcast. And I think we should wrap up. It's been quite a while. We've been recording for a bit, and that seems like a pretty good place to wrap up.
All right, so anyway, I just want to make a strong point. In conclusion, online dating completely fine. The Philippines needs sex education because we can't just keep trying to figure it out together, man. We're all not smart enough to figure it out.
That's true, and that's exactly what we're trying to do here in the Scrapyard. Just kind of figure stuff out,
and always get consent.
always get consent. Always,
Let's be
please.
very clear on that. Like we like to joke, but consent first.
Yeah, I mean, just be a good person. That's really it.
Yeah, and none of this
And
like
consent.
wait for her to get drunk and go for it
no,
because that's
no,
a real
no.
move here.
That's the most common move, I think.
Yeah, it's very upsetting.
It is very upsetting. Just be a good person.
Yeah, everyone, education starts now. Consent always, and if they're too drunk to respond, that means don't. That's a no go. Everyone.
Yeah. So, and while we're on the topic of consent and learning, and we would also like to, if you're listening out there, all two of you who are listening out there,
Sweet.
if you want to give us more topics to talk about that we want to discuss, flesh out, try to learn more about in our next episodes, please feel free to do so. And you can do so by going to our various social media sites. We have an Instagram and a TikTok. Yeah, that's right, a TikTok.
That's right.
Yeah, no, you heard that. It's called the scrapyard.ph. No, sorry, scrapyard.ph.
No, just regular scrap.
So you can-
relatable scrapyard.
Yeah, just relatable scrapyard. So you can follow us again on Instagram and TikTok at scrapyard.ph, and also our personal accounts, which we'll probably just link on our Instagram and TikTok. All links, by the way, will also be in the show description. And a special shout out to our friends Mark and Clau, who first hosted us on their show No One's Homies, and that's when we
Yeah.
kind of got into this whole podcasting thing. So big shout out to them for helping us set this up.
Yeah, thanks for helping us, introducing us to the game and helping us along the way while we figure it out.
Absolutely.
You guys are gems.
You are. And we'll share all the links down below. So yeah, give us a follow, share this episode if you liked it, and see you on our next episode.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye.